hands on a copy of Boonlake, and I'm super excited to share my experience with you, giving you that overview of what the game does and how it feels. But first, okay, I feel a little bit better now with my hair pulled back because this is a big game. Alright, now that I've got my hair pulled back, let's dive into Boonlake and see what it offers. I'm going to walk us through a turn or two and highlight all of the major mechanics and features of this game. It might be overwhelming at first when you look at this entire board. You see the action selection board and then every player's specific area they've got with their matching figures. But this has wonderful iconography and really clear turns. It's actually kind of simple. There's just a lot of choice, and when you have a lot of choice, there's just a lot of options available that you have to select from. So the very first thing that happens on a player's turn is they look at this action selection board and they will take one of these out and say, I want to do this. Or I want to do this, or this, or this. Now, a couple things to keep in mind is that this number on the side tells you exactly how many moves you get to make down the river. And in a 1 to 2 player game, you start all the way back here. Now you can stop before you go a full 4 spaces, 3, 2, or 1, but you can also just go that full distance. So a player's going to select one of these, keeping in mind that this is the distance they're going to go down the river, but they're also keeping in mind that this matches a particular card type. Now, this is my hand at the time, and what I've got are cards that show this kind of sunrise, full sun. This is like a nighttime card, and that's a sunset. And you'll see that this yellow and blue matches this one. The nighttime card matches this dark blue. And then the sunset card matches this orange. So players can look at those to figure out, well, which card do I think I can play based on which is activated. So not only do these action selection tiles have actions that players get to do as the active player, and for every single tile except for this one, everybody gets to play, including the active player. This is the only tile where that second action, they don't get to play. It's the opposing players, everyone else that's at the table. But this little symbol that shows all the different people means everybody at the table, including the active player. So I can take this and do the action and then do this secondary action. I can also play a card that matches that particular type. And then I also get to move down the river that many spaces. So that's your very first choice, is which of these do I want to take? Based on which actions are available, based on which cards I have in my hand, which can be any number of cards, and then you execute it. And it's pretty simple, but you have to make that choice. And you have to also think about, well, what are my opponents going to do as well? And what action might I get to do on their turn when they're the active player? So let's say, for instance, I want to take this right here. This is going to be this light blue tile because I have 2 of these light blue cards, and one of them I think I'm actually going to be able to pay for and play out in my player area. So I look at this, I pull it to the side, and I say I get to play a card, and I can either discard that matching symbol card and take $2, or I can play a card that matches that particular symbol. So I'm going to play this card down, and the cost is over here in the corner. I pay $4. I have 6 to begin with. Wow, there goes a lot of my money. And it says I get to move up once on the gold track. That's right up here. There is a gold mining track, and then there is a kind of card mining track. I'm not sure exactly if maybe that's dirt. Who knows? But these tracks are going to give you bonuses. They're also going to essentially increase your income phase when you have intermediate scoring. So I move my marker down to that one space, and now whenever we have intermediate scoring, instead of earning $2, I get 3. And I could get up to 5, 7, and down here along with this victory point symbol. That's the victory point symbol, is that kind of cattle skull head with the little horns coming out of it. Now, this gives me an end game score, which is just I need presence in New Hope. New Hope is down here in this gray area. Don't worry about that till the end of the game. But that lightning bolt says immediate, and that's the cost over there. Now, I haven't even activated this tile yet. I simply played my card, paid my money, did my action. Now I'm going to look at this tile, and it says place down a pasture tile anywhere that's adjacent to an existing tile. So I take this pasture, and I will place it down on an area where I want to gain something. I will cover up $2, take a cowboy into my stable, take 2 cards. That looks like all the options that I have. Oh, take 3 cards. This is connected. That is adjacent. And it works all the way up here into the unknown. So I think I'm kind of money poor right now. I just spent a lot of money. I think what I might do is, yeah, I'm going to work over here and put this pasture. Let's say I put it right there. I cover up $2. Maybe I want to build some cows out there. It'll be a really nice area to build for cattle. Know what? I'm going to put it here because it's going to be great for cattle. I'm going to get $2 still because I'm going to be able to put some houses around the area. So I take $2 and I get to, everybody will get to place out 1 cow. You take your cow from your area and you will put your cow out into a space. Let me put it in my pasture space. That cost me a cowboy. A cowboy, it takes time to wrangle up a cowboy, a cow. So you put your little cowboy in your exhausted area. You're going to actually be able to take from there when you gain cowboys. But I place out that cow, and that's it. Everybody else can place a cow, or they can discard any card for $2 or play any card. Now, I could have done that too instead of playing a cow, but getting a cow out is going to give me money at the end of the phase, and it's also going to hopefully earn me victory points by the end of the game. So it's a really good idea to get some cows out. That was this. Everyone else will take their action, and now I will move my boat 4 spaces or up to 4 spaces and take the action underneath it. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I do want to book it down because the bonuses get better as you keep going down the river. So I take my free $1 that I have underneath my boat, and I take this and I slide it up. That's my turn. That was my whole first turn, and I used the money that I had available to me, the cards that I was dealt in the beginning of the game, and my other player that I'm playing with that I don't have their pieces out for took their action as well. So that's how fast a turn goes. You just go back and forth, players selecting an action, doing everything, running it down here, and pushing it up. That is a turn. So the game is going to trigger for these intermediate scorings when a boat goes past this first line right here. And notice here it says the first time through, you're going to go this direction. So what you do is we run down. Once the first boat crosses that line, at the end of that player's turn, you will have an intermediate score. And what you do is you simply look at this track right up here, which matches in color. Everybody is going to get 2 actions. They get to divvy up, either playing a card, upgrading, or they can do any combination of that, or they can do 2 of those and 2 of those. It's up to them. After that, you are going to select one of your markers. You have to pick the number 1 in the first scoring phase, and you're going to place it down here along one of these tracks because you say, I have accomplished that thing. And these are all different every single turn. And it depends on which one you have. So I have presence in Boonlake, and I don't have presence anywhere else, and that qualifies me here for, oh, no, it's unknown and southern. So unknown and southern, I don't have that, so I'm not going to qualify for that right now. I haven't taken my full turn yet. But if I have 2 factory upgrades, which I haven't even talked about factories, money, I'm kind of money poor. Maybe this is the levers. maybe let's say I got a lever at some point, I would then place my green symbol right there. Now, this also gives you multiple points for if it's your color. I'm green, so that's mine. But that's your next step, is doing this. Now, I'm kind of brushing past that really quickly. It's a big part of the game, but it's not necessarily a big part of every turn that you take. Here, what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at all your tracks and say, aha, I get $3. So I'll take my $3. I look at where my mark is on the card track. Aha, I take 2 cards. 1, 2. That's a great way to get some cards into your hand. And then you look at your player area. Now, if I had made some houses, I would earn money. I'd get $2 and 2 more bucks. If you clear this whole row here, woohoo, you release a cowboy, and then you're going to get a victory point. Aha, move up on the victory point track. Fantastic. So that's a scoring. We do portcullises. You get a point or you lift your track up, and then you move these little black discs out. Now, I haven't talked about those black discs because that's this action right here. There are a lot of actions here to keep in mind. This one allows you to gain cowboys and place out tiles. There are tiles that you do the same thing as my pasture. You flip it over and then you place it into an adjacent area. Now, I mean, it could be golly anything. Here I get my cards. There I'm going to get a worker. Again, the worker and the cards and the money. There's also some ways to upgrade factories if you need some factories, which, yes, factories are huge. I get to place down tiles and I can upgrade workers into houses and houses into settlements. Yes, 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 that just gets you more coins and more victory points. These levers allow you to access this entire space over here, which gives you even more choice. There are 12 you can pick from that help you buy things for cheaper. They allow you to gain workers when you place tiles out. You can move your boat for free all the way back as far as you want. Get vases. Those are resources that allow you to pay for cards. So when you have a picture of a vase right here, you pay 1 wood and 1 stone, and you also have a vase. Well, you never really pay resources in this game. You just have to have them. And right now, I have 2 wood because my boats are sitting in the wood area. Now, if I had my wood factory upgrade, I would have a permanent wood always, and that's really good. That's if you get this factory upgrade, or if you get this factory upgrade right here. So these are the resources. You have to have them. Your boats can always move separately, and they can move down this track for free always. But if you want to move boat back, you got to pay $2 to move a boat back. Which you might have to in the course of the game. But that, for example, is 3 wood if I need to have 3 wood. So once a player crosses this line, we have that intermediate scoring, and we're going to keep on going down this path until someone crosses this line. And that's going to be the second intermediate scoring. And at that point, we're going to bring all the players' boats back up to the start. And we're going to go all the way down the river again, and we cross here. So the second time we cross this, that's our 3rd intermediate scoring. And then we cross here until someone goes down and crosses that final one. And there will be a 4th scoring, and then we'll have final score. And final score just simply counts these symbols that have the black arrow, and you'll gain points based on anything that has this black line with the arrow next to it, which means simply end game score. You're going to see some end game score points here as well. This game has a lot of choice. It has some complexity, but obviously there is a heart of playing cards. Every single time you play one of your action tiles, it's going to give you the option of playing a card. This one allows you to play multiple cards. Other actions on the other player's turn allows you to play cards, and these have to match. So cards are a huge part of it, and notice that all of these resources are really, really important, which means that your canoes have to be in the right space. You need to work on upgrading your factories, and you're going to see some factory upgrade bonuses here and here, and you're going to see them all over throughout the board as well. And so you can upgrade to a 1+, but you can also flip it over and have 2, So that means your boats can be elsewhere and you can still have 2 wood, or you could keep them there and have 4 wood, which is really important, right? To have a variety of those factories out there. I think another great feature of this game is this map, this board, making sure that you have your workers out here when you place a worker, because you're selecting this one, which means put a farmer or a rancher out or upgrade them. You place them out on spaces that have bonuses and you get those things. And when you place them out there, you can upgrade that rancher into a house. And then he goes away, right? And then that house can become this once there are 3 figures that are adjacent to it. And you put that out there. And now you've got all these things revealed. Obviously, you have to pay workers to build those settlements from houses, because it takes workers to do that. But you're going to continually be working on upgrading. And now this cow is going to get points because it's next to a settlement. And that's fantastic. You might actually want to score this area. When you take this black disc action, you get to cover up one of these 4, and then you get to count every figure that's not in that space. So let's say I cover this up and say I want 3 victory points, and now I get to count every other space, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I also get $4 for doing that action, because that is what this card says right there. Super easy. Now don't forget, you can play these cards as well. Whenever you activate that, make sure you do it, pull it out, move your marker, move your boat around. So there's just a lot here, and you have to have a good guide to make sure that you know what the symbols mean and you know what everything indicates. But it's pretty straightforward and it's so clean. Your turns are easy, selecting this, playing a card, and then doing something. You're either playing out here onto the map or you are upgrading your player area. You really just want to get all of these guys off the board here into this board or off of your map. You also want to just take advantage of all the cool bonuses that you have. And these down here give you really, really cool victory points and bonuses throughout the game if you do them. And you are required every single scoring phase in the game to play one of these tokens out on one of those spaces. Now you can earn positive points if you meet the criteria for that particular round, but if you don't, you lose those points for that particular round. So you have to strategize. I have to meet one of these by the end of each round, and they're all going to be each one of them one time. So you have to plan, when am I doing my first? When am I doing my second? How is my progress going with this one? And then lastly, the big points is going to be ×2 if it's yours. If you place your 4 down on your green, that means I'm going to get twice the victory points, which is really, really big. You really want to maximize that on your turn as well. I really like how this feature works. This is so simple and easy, and I love the sliding feature of it. Every player board has all of the instructions right here at the top. Your river that goes down with your boats to give you your resources that you never spend. You just have to have super, super clear. And then the board just has a lot of spaces that you want to develop into to gain those bonuses. And that's it. And then of course you've got your boat, and everything is so easy. First time through, second scoring phase, second time through to the end. Thanks for joining me for this quick overview of Boonlake and the features that I really, really like about it. I think this is a smart game. I think it's a really clean game too. Everything that's here needs to be here. The iconography is consistent and it's obvious. It's kind of intuitive. Every track here is just so efficiently planned and packed in. It makes sense. It's easy to read, and I love this movable feature of the action track that everyone uses every single turn, every time they take a turn. The individual player boards, really easy to read, super easy to use, and I think the cards are just clean and pretty, and I think this game looks nice. It feels nice too. Now I will say that this game takes just a little bit longer than the game states on the box. I think it says 40 minutes a player. I think it just is a bit longer, and that's just because you might have someone who takes a lot of time. That's me. When I have a lot of choices available to me, and I think that all of them look good, sometimes it takes me a while to figure out which one I think is the best, which one's the optimal choice. And I will tell you that this game does come down to razor thin margin, at least when it comes to me and Lewis. When we're playing a game, a really nice, clever, smart strategy game that takes us a couple hours to play, it's amazing how tight it is. So it came down to 6 points, and I just couldn't find a way to beat his cattle strategy. But it was 190 to 196, and when you have so many points in a game and it comes down to 6, I think that's pretty cool. And we were doing totally different things. We were playing different cards and picking different levers to use and different actions at the end of each round, taking advantage of the cattle pieces that you have to place every single round you're required to. We were all over the map with that. And so just smart. I like it. I want to play it again. And I think there's just a lot to like here, as long as you're ready to spend a little time getting to know the game. Once you do, I think you'll really enjoy Boonlake.